An old man who appears to be an average pensioner lives on a farm in Uruguay. He just introduces himself as Jose, but when his few guests discover that he shares his surname, they are taken aback to discover his true identity. Welcome to USA Stories channel. Do not forget to subscribe and activate the bell button to receive all new updates. Now let's go to the story. There is an elderly farmer in Uruguay who is content with his modest lifestyle. Jose is his name. After retiring, he relocated to the farm where he enjoys spending his free time tending to his garden and planting flowers. Lucia, his wife, has a special affection for wildflowers and is always happy when they are able to bring their cherished plants back to life after the winter. They never labeled their holdings, but the farm, the house, and the tractor they use for work were actually hers. Too much time has passed since they were married to continue referring to things as theirs rather than hers. The dwelling is a little cabin surrounded by a few trees and shrubs on the outskirts of Montevideo. When he was younger, Jose had a large income, but he is now only worth $1,800 in savings and receives no pension from his old employment. Although his home appears rather run down from the outside, it is comfortable and cozy enough for him and his spouse. Since almost no one ever pays Jose a visit in his hut, the road leading to the farm has never been paved or tarred. But even if someone dropped by without an appointment or warning, the two elderly people would still greet them with a warm smile. Jose and his spouse like putting their few guests at ease. They dress casually, and he frequently boasts that he has never, ever worn a tie. He never gave in, even though his former position required it. In actuality, he never caved in to many of the demands made by his profession, which is why, upon retiring, he left that entire life behind. He used to be a powerful guy with many duties, yet he consistently declares that he would choose farming and toiling over his previous life any day. He saw his esteemed position as a responsibility that should be taken seriously, rather than as something to boast about. Though, to be honest, Jose was always a somewhat unusual choice for the part. He disliked shaking hands and was always happier with his three-legged dog, Manuela, by his side than with his co-workers and staff staring at him. He had a driver who took him anywhere he wanted to go, but after he retired, he gave up that luxury to purchase an antique car that is perfect for taking his wife and dog to and from the town farmers market. Like other farmers, Jose rarely takes a few days off for leisurely relaxation. When he does, though, he enjoys spending time with his tiny family over light dinners at regular eateries close to the shore. Overall, Jose is just an ordinary man leading an ordinary life, but he hasn't always been our definition of normal. One of his rare vacations was captured on camera, and when it was shared on Facebook, the nation saw a startling new side to the man whose name was previously synonymous with national attention. Jose's last name was linked to humiliation and shaking heads a few years ago. Giving lectures in front of thousands of people was a part of his distinguished job. Jose was rarely subdued and courteous during his speeches. In reality, he had a reputation for being a brash man who frequently made embarrassing mistakes in public. Typically, when the average person makes a mistake, they have to own up to it or risk having a select group of close friends scrutinize them. But Jose erred multiple times in front of the whole country. In front of thousands, he even called Cristina Fernández de Kirchner, the president of Argentina at the time, an old hag once. In the same way, he had to apologize to her husband, Nestor Kirchner, the former president, for referring to him as a cross-eyed man. Jose made the similarly humiliating political error of calling Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro as mad as a goat. Despite numerous advisors' efforts over the years to enhance his public persona, they were never able to fully manage his ideas and his frankness. His decision to step down from his prominent position was met with a collective sigh of relief among his own colleagues. Jose was already 80 years old in 2015. Instead of immediately leaving the scene, he continued on to work in the same industry in a different capacity for 5 more years. Many anticipated that he would continue in this role for a further 5 years, but he made it clear in public that he didn't want to wait until he was 90 years old to retire and be released from his numerous responsibilities. For Jose, adjusting to his new life wasn't tough. He would have been entitled to live in an opulent palace, but he had always chosen his little farm, where he could spend as much time as he wished with his wife. 2015 saw Lucia become his legally wedded wife, but they were longtime life partners before then. Fighting as guerrillas for the Tupamaros, an armed left-wing rebel group that resisted the dictatorship that ruled Uruguay from 1973 to 1985. Due to his rebellious actions, José was likewise imprisoned and detained for nearly a decade. In an attempt to improve his nation, he entered politics as soon as the dictators were eventually toppled in 1985. This kind of past makes it simpler to see why José always struggled to live up to the expectations of his refined, well-respected position in the nation. Some even claim that he altered Uruguay's political system. Since he never had a stylist or an ostentatious wardrobe, many of his detractors were offended when he showed up at international meetings wearing what they called old rags. He was unmoved by the criticism, though. He never gave a damn about wearing the correct clothes. His attentiveness to matters of consequence was what counted. Many people held him in the highest regard since he never squandered money on things that he considered to be unimportant. Another facet of his life that elicited applause from the general public, but unease among his colleagues, was his unwillingness to take a pay raise. Approximately 90% of the $12,000 he received each month as the highest-ranking employee in his lengthy career went to charity. He also frequently assisted local business owners in launching their ventures. He didn't save more than was necessary to maintain his farm, as that land quickly rose to prominence as the designated location for significant international gatherings. There was no visible protection at the farm, and the two plainclothes cops were the only ones carrying weapons. He traveled the city without ever spending a dime on security. The majority of politicians travel in opulent limos with tinted windows and bulletproof interiors. But José never accepted that the car he drove defined him. Despite the fact that the body of his small 1987 Volkswagen Beetle showed symptoms of corrosion, he was incredibly devoted to it and would not part with it. This Beetle got so well known in 2014 that bids were placed to purchase it. The car itself was of no worldly worth, but many would have given anything to drive the same vehicle that had so often assisted a man like José in traveling throughout his beloved nation. He turned down the offer to sell, even though it included a potential $1 million. However, why did so many individuals want to own a piece of José so badly? And why was an ordinary politician the center of attention? The startling response is that, despite his current appearance as a regular old man, José was anything but a simple politician. José Alberto Mujica Cordano presided over Uruguay as president from 2010 to 2015. Many people all throughout the world respected this man, in spite of the criticism he received for his direct statements and thrifty ways. Even though President Mujica has a long history of controversial political actions, he is a great example of leadership and a hot topic of conversation everywhere in the world. Gluttony was one thing he could never be charged with. He sent a formal letter of resignation in 2015 to Lucia Topolansky, the president of the Senate and vice president of Uruguay at the time. As you would have predicted, she has been President Mujica's wife for the past 10 years, which is an interesting fact. Following a lengthy political career together, these two lovers may now finally enjoy their latter years in peace and quiet, watched over by the few people who visit their farm to catch a sight of the man who redefined the term president. How do you feel about José Mujica? If you were elected president, would you set an example like his? Please remember to subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our videos. If you enjoyed the tale, the next video that plays on your screen will probably move you too.